Welcome back to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need it, come to Donahue Accounting Services. A leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio, our top-notch accountants strive to help you resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahue Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3982 or visit online at DonahueAccountingService.com. I'm your host, Alex Meacham, former Bearcat basketball player from 1997 to 1999 under the Hall of Fame coach, Bob Huggins.
And I am Neil Meyer with the Front Office News.
I'm JT Smith, editor-in-chief of the Front Office News.
All right, fellas, we are back for another episode. Let's jump right into it. The Bearcats are currently 12-5 after defeating Arizona State 67-60. JT, thoughts on the Bearcats' performance?
Hey, man, 2 in a row. Hey, it ain't got to be there. 2 in a row. I like the first half. I ain't like the second half as much, but I don't care. Hey, what we say, just win, stack it up. You know, now 2-4 in conference. I ain't like them getting out-rebounded, but they did make some shots a little bit more. You know, scoring 67 points isn't setting the world on fire, but after scoring 40 and 48, I'm going to keep harping on that. You're scoring in 60s. I'm going to shut up. Just get the dubs, protected the ball. Made a few plays, 4 people in double figures. I like that. So I'm not gonna get long-winded, man. 2-4. Let's go.
Love it. Like you said, man, 67. I'm gonna say going from 40 to 67 is like what we go through with the weather here in Cincinnati, right? It's gonna be what, 5 or 8 degrees in the morning tomorrow.
Yeah.
If come like Tuesday or Wednesday, it's 44 in the morning. It feels like a heat wave.
Yep, true.
Right? It feels like a whole. So same thing with this. Like scoring 67, it's like, I'll take it. At least
exactly.
It's not 40. Right?
Exactly. For sure, 100%. Then now we can build up. We can keep hitting 60s. Then maybe a 75 might hit her. Maybe a low 80. But we got to, the habits of scoring are coming back around, which is cool. I'll take that.
And before I jump to you, Neil, next episode, I think we're going to have a new sponsor in place for this particular segment. So I'm excited for that. I want to throw that out there. We're going to have a new sponsor for our recap. Neil, your thoughts on the Bearcats' performance?
Yeah, overall, there was a lot of positives to take away from Saturday's victory over Arizona State. But first off, Meach, we got to give a shout out to Jaden Quaintance. Was fantastic for Arizona State. I thought he was a difference maker in this one. I mean, he was our player to watch heading into this one. I mean, 17 years old, and he puts up 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocks, and was arguably the best player on the court on Saturday. So overall, he was the whole difference maker for Arizona State. He kind of willed them to that comeback. I mean, Cincinnati led by as much as 12, and then next thing you know, Arizona State comes back, and it's a 4-point game at one point. So overall, thought Jaden Quaintance was probably as advertised for Arizona State, but Cincinnati, there's a lot of positives there. Obviously, the biggest one for me personally is CJ Frederick's impact for this team was huge on Saturday. Not only on the offensive end, I mean, he finished with just 5 points, but the 2 buckets that he kind of came, he had the big 3-pointer off the top of the arc there late in the second half, and then he found his way to get inside and attack as well. So overall, that was huge. Well, 6 points, 2 big 3-pointers. So CJ Frederick's impact in this game, it's starting to see that we talked about it all season about could CJ find his role with this team. Connor Hickman's out with an injury. CJ has been that role for Cincinnati. I mean, the difference maker Saturday was he knocks down the 2 threes, and then that oop to Dylan Mitchell kind of opened things up for everything. But if we're talking about that play, great props to CJ for seeing that read. But, Meach, we've also talked about Cincinnati screening in that process. Seamoss set a great elevator screen to kind of open that thing up, and that was the difference maker. So, I thought CJ Frederick was a huge impact in this game. Seamoss is back, too, as well, it looks like. And Wes Miller kind of even noted that. He was like, we think Seamoss has got that confidence back. So, 10 points again for Seamoss. But Jizzle James, man, 12 points. It's worth noting that despite shooting just 5 of 10 from the field, which is what you want to see him shooting, it's also pretty interesting. Meach, he played the game with the flu. Wes Miller said he was getting an IV about an hour before the game, and he had not slept in 2 to 3 days because he was so sick.
Oh, man, I didn't hear that. That was his flu game.
That was the flu game. which
Wow.
was great to see for Jizzle James to come out of that slump as well.
You know what? There is something to say. I didn't hear this about Michael Jordan's flu game performance, but I've heard from other high-level athletes that have been interviewed that have been sick, that have had big games. They said your mind is in a different place when you play when you're sick, right? So obviously you don't want to play a game when you're sick, but your mind doesn't necessarily focus in on things that you shouldn't focus in, that I think players get caught up in. You just sometimes go out there and play, right? You've been sick, you're like, oh, you kind of dragging. You just man, hey, I can't waste a lot of energy. I got to be very efficient. So that's Jizzle's flu game. Hey, something else I wanted to throw out. I think last pod, Neil, you mentioned the Bearcats keeping their turnovers down, right? And I think they had 7 turnovers for the game. So that was good, under 10.
Yeah, 7 turnovers was huge for Cincinnati, and that was the difference maker too, because that is now consecutive games that Cincinnati has kept the turnovers under 10 each. They had 10 versus Colorado. You have 7 versus Arizona State. If Cincinnati continues to find ways to take care of the ball on the offensive end, teams know that they're going to be a really good team, especially come the back half of this season. So it's a very good sign to see Cincinnati not turning the ball over as well.
Got to value that basketball. Also, JT, I think the most fast break points we've had all season in 25.
Yeah. I'll take it, man. 25, they got out on the break. Something we got to keep seeing, man. I mean, can't always depend on half court. They got too many athletes to be just want to be in the half court all the time. Hey, let's push the tempo. And, you know, those guys, they finish, man. They finish with the best of them. So it's push the rock.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, you know, as a coach, I was actually talking to a high school coach the other night. I was at the Cubcath Highlands basketball game the other night. I was talking to another high school coach, and we were talking about the Bearcats. And he said something to me that I thought was important to think about during this stretch of run here. Sometimes as a coach, you go into a season with the idea that, hey, we're going to play this way. Yeah. We're going to play this style. And then you get so many games into it, you face some adversity, and you're like, well, we're going to need to scrap that. This isn't going the way I thought it would go.
Yeah.
We need to, revise some things up. And this high school coach, longtime, really good coach, said he thinks that's going on with UC to some regard, that, hey, maybe they thought they could play a certain way and then realizing, maybe we need to play more like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that happens as a coach. Now, not to be one of those guys that's into the superstition, good luck, bad luck, but the Bearcats are undefeated in the black elephant print uniforms and the white elephant print uniforms. I have this question for JT and Neil. Should the Bearcats just make those the uniforms for the rest of the year?
I'll go ahead. I think you want to wear them as much as possible, but you don't want to overwear them, if that makes sense. Like, you don't want to burn it out over the next few games. Now, the white ones, I personally like the white uniforms more than the black uniforms. I think the icy white looked fire on Saturday, but
I agree.
It kind of depends. Do you want to? I mean, you could make those the home and home, but I still would like to see the red uniforms as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how often they wear it. But you are 3-0 in those 3 games that you have worn those uniforms, and arguably those 3 games that you've worn those have been 3 of the biggest games of the season as well.
JT?
Hey, man, wear them as much as possible. You 3-0. I don't care, man. Hey, let's get some dubs. When we get over 500, then we can figure it out. But until we get over 500 in conference, hey, I wouldn't mind seeing them on Tuesday. How about that?
Fans love them, and the team's winning in them. Keep them going.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to throw out real quick before we transition into our next segment, I've been screaming all Big 12 conference play. Depth. I thought Wes and the staff played a lot of guys. You had 4 guys in double figures? Is that right, Neil?
Yep, 4 guys in double figures.
Hey, play fast, play faster, use your depth. They're guys that could help. We're seeing that with Josh Reed. We're seeing that with CJ Frederick right now. And I do love that we got to tip our hat to those guys that have stayed ready, because it's easy in this day and age to sit there and pout and be upset for not getting playing time. These guys aren't. They're coming in. They're ready, JT.
Nah, for sure. Nah, that's 100%, man. Because you could be like, oh, man, I'm not even playing. I ain't played in 5 games, 6 games. All right, it's a wrap. But time come, you got to make the most of your minutes, and those guys have been doing that, and that's helping the Bearcats win basketball games.
ABR, always be ready. This Tuesday at 7 p.m., the Bearcats take on Texas Tech at the beautiful Fifth Third Arena. Will we see the icy cold? What did you call them, Neil? The icy white uniforms. Will we see them again? Hopefully so. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Let's jump into the Big O segment sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. In this segment, we cover players to watch and key matchups. JT, who do we need to look out for?
All right, man. So Jizzle had his flu game on Saturday. I'm pretty sure they got him IV'd up, got him together. I want to see him build on it, man. Let's get another double-digit game. I think he protected the basketball well to get some more assists. But I just like how I thought his aggression was better than I've seen him play with lately. I thought maybe the confidence was back, which is good. And that's positive for the Bearcats. So I want to see him have another double digits where a 5 for 10, I'll take that all day. Let's have another 5 or 10 game or better. And then let's get a couple rebounds, couple assists, get a steal or two, just have a quality game that helps the Bearcats pull off the 3rd victory in a row.
I like that, JT. Jizzle building on the confidence that he received that last game at Arizona State. I like that. And he's the type of kid I think that will respond to that.
Yeah, because I feel like, not to get long-winded, Jizzle is a guy that can rattle off multiple games. We've seen that. And if we can get to that point with other people, I won't steal anybody else's thunder, but it makes the Bearcats very dangerous if he can get rolling. That's for sure.
Neil, player to watch from the Bearcats, and give us somebody from Texas Tech we need to watch.
Yeah, so for Cincinnati, I'm going to roll with CJ Frederick in this one, just because obviously the role's starting to kind of carve out. Connor Hickman's going to be out for a little bit of time is what it sounds like, so still don't have an exact time frame on how long Connor will be out, but it's kind of great for CJ to kind of carve that role in, because everyone kind of knows he can score the ball on the offensive end, but he's really impacted this team on the defensive end too. And now that he's got those 2 or 3 games under his belt where he has made such an impact, I think this could be the breakout game for CJ Frederick, especially with what Texas Tech is able to do so well. And that's really, they can score on all 3 different levels. But for Texas Tech, my player to watch is going to be JT Toppin. Was one of the most highly sought-off players in the transfer portal this offseason. Leads the team in scoring and leads the team in rebounds. So he's averaging 17 points a game and 9 rebounds. So overall, anytime you have somebody who can really score the ball like that, 55% from the field, a big time post player for Texas Tech. So overall, they're going to have to find a way to contain him inside. 6'9", plays very physical, to say the least. Kind of plays similar to a guy like Jaden Quaintance from Arizona State. So that's going to be my player to watch for Texas Tech in this one. But like I said, I think this is going to be the game where CJ Frederick really kind of carves his role for this team.
Must be the name JT. That's why he's a baller.
Yeah, it may be, man. I got the juice.
Yeah, the J stands for juice.
Yeah.
The juice. I'm gonna start calling you Juice. Juice. Neil, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go find out if Day Thomas has applied for the whole, what's that, extra
year?
It'd be extra 2, right? Or not?
I think it's just an extra 1.
I think you get an extra 1 for the current people, I think.
Extra 1? So he has to file for that? Would that be correct?
I'm fairly certain he would have to apply for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you find out?
Yep.
So we can get back to the people. But it is now time for JT's favorite part of the podcast, and that is the name game with Neil Meyer. Hit him. Hey, JT, that's the Neil. It's the Neil dance right there.
Neil got that like you see the old movies where they be dancing like in the 70s.
When they got like a full suit, a three-piece
full suit. Take the girl out. You go courting. They out here dancing.
They got the women are smoking them long cigarettes.
Yeah. Like real classy. Wherever Neil's at is real classy.
All right, this portion of the podcast, the Name Game with Neil Meyer. This is where we look at the opposing team's roster. Now, some of the rosters have names that are just really, really different, very, very unique, and some of them just tough to say. Could be a mixture. Now, Neil, we're going to look at the Texas Tech roster. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's start with number 23.
Number 23 for Texas Tech is Emeli Yalejo.
Who's ho? Say it again. Say it again, Neil.
Emeli Yalejo.
Man, where's he from?
He is from Finland.
No. Say the town he's from in Finland. Say that. That should have been. What is it?
Javaskala.
I think he
did all right on that because man, that's tough.
Like that stuff, like the little marks over the A's and that's
got it over A on both A's. Oh, the next one about to be crazy.
And number 33.
Federico.
My man got the double name.
Got the double name, baby.
We're
back.
We gotta find. I need to where's he from? Where's
Helsinki,
Finland. Finland too.
Helsinki. Yeah, I've heard Helsinki.
I've heard of Helsinki too.
Yeah, where it was in a movie.
Yeah, it's definitely in a movie or a video game or something. That's crazy. I've definitely heard of Helsinki.
Man,
I don't know why.
I think it's from a movie or a show or
it's something. Helsinki, I've heard it for sure, 100%.
I need to if he plays well, I'm sure he plays. He's a senior, right? 6'11". I'm sure he gets some time.
Some kind of clock.
He gets some kind of clock. If he plays even decently well, and you all are in the presser, please ask him about his name. Like, is that your first and last name? Do you have a middle name? Is it like why is your first and last name the same? I need to.
Yeah, he's averaging 20 minutes a game.
Well, I mean, figured 6'11" senior, you would
got to. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Federico. All right, Neil. Because we're short a little bit on players, let's jump down to the second assistant coach.
Choki Moikubu.
Oh shit! Hold up. My fault.
Say it again.
Choki Moikubu.
I love this. This is my favorite. This is my favorite part of the podcast. I'm not even.
Yeah, he got a hell of a name.
Yes, he does. Now I want you to go down to. Let me see if I can find it here. The first grad assistant. Now, last name is a little tricky.
Oh shit.
Eric Rawwire.
Raw. That's weird. It's RWAH.
Yeah.
Rawwire.
Yeah.
Rawwire.
That's almost like the phonetic raw. Okay.
Yeah.
Last but not least, jump down to the creative manager, and it's more the last name.
Chris Marmolejo.
That was good. Marmolejo. These were some pretty interesting ones.
Yeah.
These were. I don't know who's in the lead this year. I got to go back and look, but I don't know. Federico.
Yeah.
I know one's still going to beat a cock.
Pause.
No.
Neil.
I said pause.
It
But it took me a second.
Too much. Here's what happens, Neil. everybody in their head has a committee, okay? And
We're getting the whole lesson, JT.
when you think of something, that committee goes, yeah, don't say that.
Yeah.
They let you know, right?
Yep.
Sometimes, Neil, your committee's on lunch break, okay? And it's
You said nobody's beating it too.
And I said pause after it.
hey, his committee, either his committee's drunk or they're out of office right now.
He said nobody's beating it.
I should have. Nah.
Nobody. It's even if it was like too much. It was too much. Nobody's beating it. A guy. Pause. Nobody's beating it.
I mean,
that was a lineup. You lined yourself up, Neil, on that one. But that name is definitely number one, though. What's the other one? What was my other double name that was crazy off the chain? Was it Jop? No, it wasn't Jop. It was
Gob.
Gob. All that
yep.
too.
I think when you're from a foreign country, that might be acceptable there, but when you come to the States, you gotta see if you can
use that middle name, like
you gotta rework.
Like it gotta be like Winston Davis, whatever they got. You know what I mean? Like if it's something, hey, give me that middle name in there, man.
When I was at UC, I struggled. I struggled with math, and I had a tutor, and he was from India.
Okay.
And he was actually fresh off the boat. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
Greatest dude ever. When I first met him, he had a strong accent. He said his name was Joe Vincent.
Okay.
I didn't think anything of it. Come to find out a little bit later, he's like, that's not my real name. I changed it. So when he came, he changed his name so it was more American.
Yeah.
Out with jobs and stuff like that. Then I finally saw his real name. Bro, he had so many letters.
Yeah, I bet.
It was like a sentence.
Yeah, I believe it.
Man, but he was smart enough to know from a business standpoint. Like, they're not going to hire Bhattama Krishna. That was like Bhattama Krishna or something like that. It was like, they're not going to hire him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Joe Vincent getting through.
Joe Vincent.
They're going to be salty like, damn.
Yeah, when a guy looks at his, let me grab my paper. When he looks at that resume and goes, a cock. You're going to go like this. Whoa.
Somebody to like,
nope.
Yeah, you're going to need somebody to like be interference. You're going to have to definitely know somebody at the place. Because you get in there, you see it. You're like, hold up. You don't think it's a joke.
Gob.
Gob. Wow.
The Big O segment is sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. Real quick, my player to watch is going to be Day Day. I've been so happy with Day Day this year. I said this on a prior pod. I think his attitude, he's got that Lou Will role going right now where he comes in the game, provides that energy, comes off the bench, is happy with being this. Well, I shouldn't say he's happy with being the sixth man, but he's kind of accepted that and has been a team guy. So now the reason I picked Day Day, I'm going to get into a little bit later when we talk about the keys to the game. The Big O segment is sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. Do you have a business that needs better inventory control, production management, or improved accounting control? Outgrown QuickBooks or can't afford NetSuite? Give loyal Bearcat grads Doug and Kathy Jacobs at Smart Dog Solutions a call. They've been in your position and would love to help you solve all your problems. They can be contacted at 513-739-9473 or online at smartdog-solutions.com. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. The Kenyon segment is sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. This is where we cover the keys to the game. What do the Bearcats need to do to win, JT?
Man, so I'm going to say rebound. Got to get – I don't like how they rebounded as a whole against Arizona State. That's something that we hang our hat on. Losing the battle by 9. Let's fix that against Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech's probably a little bit more talented team too. So just rebound, shore that up, and then stay aggressive on offense, man. I like that they got 25 points in fast break. I think, we talked about that earlier. That's something that has to keep continuing. Maybe they don't get 25, but if they're getting 18 and 22 from fast breaks, even if it's secondary fast break and you're getting open threes off of it, I'm cool with that. Let's just keep pushing the pace, man. Because like we talked about the depth, playing fast, that's going to lead to more shots. More shots hopefully leads to more points. And more points leads to winning. And that's what the Bearcat fans like. That's what I know Coach Miller and them want. I know players like stats too. So it's a win-win. Let's get some dubs, get some stats, and rebound the ball. And I feel like that'll be great. Those are super keys to the game because, you're at home, man. It's protect home court.
Now, JT, when you talk about rebounding, obviously rebounding is by committee. So when you think about this Bearcat team, who from the Bearcat team do you want to see rebound at a high level? That committee of folks.
That committee of folks. I want to see Aziz. I think he had 9 rebounds last game. I want to see Aziz, Dylan Mitchell, and Dan Skillings both be like 5 or more. I think they're athletic. Aziz is tricky sometimes because he affects so many shots. He takes himself out of rebounding position sometimes. So if he's between 6 and 10, I'm fine with that. But I want to see Dylan and Dan be around that 6 and 8 range too. I know Dylan, he can slap up double digits. So, if he can, go ahead and go for it. But I at least want to see them both at 6.
I think Dylan Mitchell, he takes a lot of pride in rebounding the basketball, almost as much as scoring. He looks at I'm going to be the leading rebounder every single night.
Yeah, for sure. I think so too. He really, when he talks about it, he's like, I remember one game they lost. He was just like, I just feel like I didn't rebound as good as I'm capable of, and he was real pissed about that. And you could tell by his answer, he was more so pissed. Besides him not scoring much, but his rebound output.
The Kenyon segment is sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. Neil, what do the Bearcats need to do to win?
Yeah, so for Cincinnati, what they need to do for this game to really win and win big is you keep the turnover number under 10 again. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but you have 2 straight games with less than 10 turnovers. You had 10 versus Colorado. You have 7 versus Arizona State. You protect the ball on your home court and you take care of the ball and continue to do the little things right? We talk about protecting the ball. You do the little things right there. You take care of what you got to take care of. You're not playing sloppy. You're playing very consistent and doing everything you have to take in that aspect. Keep the turnovers under 10. I mean, if they can come into Fifth Third Arena on Tuesday night and have another performance where they keep the turnovers at a number like 7, there should be a very good chance that Cincinnati is competing with the Texas Tech team right now that is performing above what many people thought. So in order for them to be successful and to win this game on Tuesday, it's going to really start with taking care of the basketball in just about every sense. You take care of the basketball, your offense opens up, it kind of smooth sails from there. So taking care of the basketball is going to be really important in this one.
Well, Neil, taking care of the basketball gives you more possessions, right? It gives you more attempts at the basket. Right now on this Bearcat roster, I don't know the answer to this. Who is leading us in turnovers? Do you know, Neil, up top, or JT, do you know?
That's a good question. I do not know. I have to look that up, man. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm about to look it up real quick.
And listen, when I ask this question, if you look at it, sometimes that person that's the leading turnover player for that particular team, sometimes it's a function of they have the ball a lot in their hands, which is understandable. But you want whoever that person is to, be below a certain number. So I was thinking about that, who leads us in turnovers? I'm like,
CMOS leads with 27 and Jizzle has 26.
See, I wouldn't have guessed CMOS. I didn't.
I would have guessed CMOS for some reason.
You would have, JT?
Yeah.
I would have thought if anybody it would have been Jizzle because he's handling the basketball a lot more.
Yeah.
You'd think the basketball's in Jizzle's hand. I don't know what the percentage, 68% of the time in a game or 70%. Therefore, you more prone to turn it over. But
yeah,
so we need CMOS to stop turning the basketball over.
Yeah.
Keep those turnovers down. Now, so for me for this game, I'm gonna kind of go away from the offensive side and I'm gonna look at defense. I really want us to hold Texas Tech under 70 points. They can get it below that, great. 65, whatever. I think we've been doing a pretty good job defensively. I'd like for us to put two halves together defensively of just if we put two halves together where we're like locked down, we'll hold them under 60 for sure.
Mm.
And I think sometimes what happens when you get that defensive energy going, it could lead to help your offense because you get out and get those fast break points, getting those stops, forcing the other team to shoot bad last second shot clock shots leads to, more confidence on the offensive end. So my key would be to keep them under 70 points. The Kenyon segment, Keys to the Game, was sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. Come see fellow Bearcat Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota for all your new and pre-owned Toyota needs. Look for Greg Hooden on Instagram and Twitter at Cincy Greg Hooden, Hooden spelled Hoodin, or come see Greg at Beachmont Toyota. Always ready to help our Bearcat family get into a new Toyota. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Now, in the Twyman segment, sponsored by Visionary Cleaners, we cover a hot topic. Today's hot topic is something everybody's talking about, and that's the big national championship game on Monday night. It is going to be Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Now, a lot of people out there think Ohio State is by far, at least people I've been talking to, is like Ohio State is by far the better team. They're going to win. But that's not necessarily who they're cheering for. But, a lot of people think Ohio State's going to win. So my question for you guys, JT, who do you want to win and why? And if you have a score prediction, throw it out.
All right. So Ohio State score prediction. I'm an Ohio State football fan. So
why is that?
Because, man, in Dayton, you got to pick a side. Like, it's you either root for Ohio State or you root for Michigan. You got to draw yourself that line immediately. Like, that's kind of like one of the things that I grew up with. So it's like from 7, 8 years old, you had to kind of pick. That was back when they had like Eddie George, who else? Eddie George, Terry Glenn, those cats. So I grew up on that, and that's just how it go. So yeah, you couldn't teeter lines, not in my household or my grandparents or my dad. So you had to roll or get rolled over. So, all right, my bad. Bring it back. I'm gonna go with prediction. I'll say 27-17 Ohio State. I think it'll be a close game. I just think that Ohio State is more explosive, so they should be able to make some big plays. And then, Notre Dame is definitely, their defense is legit, probably one of the best, definitely probably a top 5 defense in the country. Very good running game. I just don't think Leonard will be able to make enough throws or enough plays on the outside to really scare Ohio State. I think their defense is really dialed in. So that's those are the main reasons. What was the other thing? Did I skip anything?
No.
Nope. All right, cool.
You answered it. My question for you, my throwback to you is, if you were younger and the Bearcats football team was really good and you had a chance to choose as a kid your favorite team, would you still roll with Ohio State? Because my assumption is when you were younger, the Bearcats football team wasn't good.
Nah.
Right? So you went with,
for sure.
Okay.
So like keeping it real, I just knew I thought UC was just a basketball school when I was younger.
A lot of people,
you know what I mean? Like, not even trying to be funny. Like, I thought they just were basketball school. Because, I was like, all right, UC. I was like, I cared about Ohio State basketball, but not like how UC basketball and then UD basketball. You know what I mean? So, but I was like, I didn't know they had football literally until I probably was a junior in high school.
Okay.
Like, for real. That sounds bad, but then the dude that was legit there, I think was Plummer that played for the Bengals.
Jeff Plummer? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he was the one when I first started watching it. Like, oh, dang, I didn't know UC had football. Like, it's, call it ignorance or whatnot. But, yeah, I don't know. I probably still would be Ohio State. Like, that's how I lived in Cincinnati. Because the rivalry's so big, it draws a line. Like, it draws a line. And if my grandparents and stuff, we're still alive. like that. I know they would ask, and it's something that I kind of enjoy doing with my granddad and stuff too. So watching the games and stuff. So
Fair.
I probably still would be a big Ohio State football fan.
Okay.
So, but UC still my second team. They probably still would be the second team off the strength as well. So, yep. Cool.
Neil?
Yeah. So for me, I'm going with Notre Dame just because of the connection we have to the Notre Dame coaching staff, obviously with Coach Gino, Coach Marcus, Coach Mickens, Coach Denbrock out there. There's a lot of Cincinnati ties in this one. Obviously, those were guys that JT and I got to build a good relationship with.
Mike Brown,
two wide receiver coach, is out there as well. So there's a lot of UC connections there for this one. But also, I have never been an Ohio State fan. I've always been UC through and through. So kind of grown up around UC. Obviously, you always see younger and a lot of other people in this area root for Ohio State, but it's like, for me personally, you can't root for both, I feel like. That's just my opinion on it. So I've always been through and through to UC, so I'm going with Notre Dame in this one.
Well, Neil, I'm with you. I'm going with Notre Dame for all the things that you said. I think Marcus Freeman is such a likable person to me, watching his press conferences and just listening to how he talks to his student athletes. He would be a guy that I would send my kid to play for. I feel like, my kid was in good hands. But that's not the only reason. The other reason is, in my household, growing up, you were a Bearcat fan. You were a Bearcat. You were not cheering for Ohio State. That was not basketball, not football. No. JT, you talk about that line being crossed.
Yeah, line, yeah.
There was a line. In my house, it was Bearcats. You did not cheer for Xavier basketball ever.
Yeah.
Did not cheer for Ohio State football, basketball. Never.
Okay.
Not
respect it. I respect it.
Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah, definitely not Kentucky. Sure.
Right? It was against the law. It was against the law.
Nah, for sure. Nah, honestly, that's how it was, man. You had to pick. You had to pick a side.
You did?
Had to rob that side. Like, you didn't. Yes. Yeah, I feel you, man.
And it's still like that to this day.
Yeah.
I've known a ton of young people from our community that have gone on to play at Ohio State. Got a lot of love for those guys. But I tell them, I'm not cheering for your team. I'll root for you to be successful, get some numbers. But nah, bro. All day. So with that being said, I'm rolling with Marcus Freeman. I'm more so rolling with Marcus Freeman and staff, right? And I don't have anything against Notre Dame. I know there are a lot of people that do. I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I can't stand Notre Dame. And I think a lot of that comes to, and JT and Neil, you tell me if you agree with this, but I think sometimes fan bases turn other fan bases like off, and it's a lot has to do with success. So obviously Notre Dame hasn't had a tremendous amount of like playoff success, right?
Yeah.
In a while. When was the last time they've been to it's been a while, right?
I mean, it's been a minute though. I mean,
the championship game? It's been a while, right?
It's been since the BCS when Manti Te'o got ghosted. Literally.
Oh, yeah.
Literally got ghosted.
Yeah, Manti Te'o.
And that documentary on him is
it's crazy.
Like you can't even make that. You can't even write that script.
Man, it's crazy. I don't understand. Like, that'll get me talking about something else. But that's crazy. I still understand that. Like, I was telling you, like, I went to school when UC was barely making bowl games. It wasn't no dudes getting catfish like that. Not where you was talking about it on national TV. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say. I'll leave it alone. I won't draw. You know what I mean? I'm out the way on that one.
I'm gonna say this. Now you saw the doc, JT.
Yeah, I saw the documentary.
Neil, you saw the doc?
Yep.
So I don't know.
FaceTime back then?
What?
They ain't had FaceTime back then?
I don't feel like they did.
They might not.
I don't know. Well, let me say this. Pre that documentary,
I
didn't have anything against him I didn't like dislike him, but I was like, I don't know, I just had this like perception of him maybe.
Yeah.
After the doc, I was like, man, I like this guy. Like, I thought he was like a cool dude that just got bamboozled, hoodwinked, run astray. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I was just like,
oh no, man. I felt bad for him. But my thing was just like, protect yourself if you know you ain't seen this person. That's my thing. Like, talking to you are a national figure. Like, national figure.
Hey, he could have gone out on campus.
You could be like, I got a girlfriend. Cool.
He could have gone out on campus and picked up any girl he wanted, but
anybody.
He chose
that's my thing. You go on campus, you gonna fall in the you freaking almost won a Heisman. Fall into it. I seen when Bearcats was scraping getting 6 and they was getting every girl they wanted. So I know it's doable. You know what I'm saying? I seen it.
He could have walked anywhere on the campus of Notre Dame and people would have recognized him, bought him free dinner, bought him drinks, whatever it might have been back then.
So my thing is like, until you know you got proof of concept, you can't be telling everybody about her like that. That's where I say that's where he messed himself up for me. Like the common sense part of it. It was like, dog, I haven't seen this girl. I haven't laid my eyes face to face with this girl. The national media, ESPN don't even know about that. Even campus people don't even know about that, really. You know what I mean? That's where I come in. That's where I'm like, I don't know. Anybody can get got, I guess, but to go to that level and then be like, the person had cancer and all this stuff, and you can't be telling everybody that you ain't even seen her. That's where I get. That's where like,
I'm with
if my kids do that, my boys do stuff like that, like I'm slapping the back of their head. I'm be like, what's going on with y'all? Did you do that? Come down and be like, oh, this girl ain't seen her. All this stuff, telling everybody. He doing interview, he telling everybody about her.
I tell you what, though, let me say this: if that was to happen now, I would believe it a little bit more. Just from I know we got FaceTime and all that, but there's so many people that have these kids are communicating with, like, let's say you're a guy, are communicating with girls via Instagram, getting in their DMs. So whatever they post on Instagram, they think that that's that person.
Yeah,
they've never seen that, and they'll have a relationship with somebody via Instagram and never have seen this person.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But I need proof of contact. Like
I'm with you.
I'm saying I need face-to-face interaction before I tell anybody.
I'm with you.
We are one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That's it. Like, I need to bump. I need to go shoulder to shoulder. Like, we gotta bump into each other. I gotta make sure you're not a damn hologram. You know they got holograms. They had Tupac rapping, right?
Hey, AI is crazy now. You never know what might happen.
Tupac is rapping. Biggie is rapping at stuff nowadays. I need to bump. We gotta bump shoulder to shoulder.
No question.
To make sure we are cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? I could be like, I am JT. I might be. What if I'm a hologram right now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That AI stuff's crazy. Like, there was I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was a song that came out maybe a couple days ago, and they said it was R. Kelly had released a song from prison. Did you hear this?
I missed that.
Hey, no, but thinking about that's crazy because.
Hold on, Neil. Hold on. And I'm listening to this song, and I'm like, yo, this song's fire. I'm like, this is a good song. And then, like, an hour later, they were like, no, he has no access to studio. This is AI. Like, everybody shot down the claims of it being actually him. And I'm like, dang, I got duped.
You got duped. They got you.
They got me, boy.
They got you.
Because it sounded just like him.
Yeah, the AI is crazy, man. Because didn't Drake during the beef before he started suing everybody? Didn't he have AI Tupac and AI somebody else on one of his discs?
Yeah, and Kendrick made reference to the song.
Yeah,
like, he made reference to that.
That one of those.
Like Snoop reposted it.
Yeah,
like Drake's song, and Kendrick was like, "Bro, like, how are you gonna repost that, man? That's
yeah."
You know, so yeah. It's crazy. What were you gonna say, Neil?
Yeah, well, you mentioned making the song in jail. Tory Lanez just put out a couple songs from jail too over a freaking cell phone. So, I mean, it's hard to believe that stuff nowadays, but
It's
It's a
different.
crazy world. Crazy world.
It is a crazy world. We ventured off into a whole nother, like we always do, kind of getting a different stratosphere. So
Yeah.
quickly, JT, you've got Ohio State winning. Your score was 27-17.
Yeah.
Neil, you have a score prediction?
Yeah, I got Notre Dame, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, 24-21.
I'm writing this down too. 27-17, 24-21. I'm gonna go 20. I'm gonna go Notre Dame 20-17.
Mm.
Yep. I'm gonna go 20-17. Field goal. Notre Dame walk-off field goal. Peace. Smell you later. We're gonna see who wins. Where you watching the game, G?
You say what?
Where you watching the game?
At the crib. Watching
Okay.
the crib.
You have your cup? You have some in your cup?
Yeah, what's in the cup tonight?
Just some little bullet and Coke, man. Then I'm gonna watch the game. I'll have something then. But then after that, I'm gonna go dry for a few days. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What about you, Neil?
Yeah, so my boys were doing the fantasy football league punishment tomorrow night before the game. My boy has to run a beer mile because he lost a beer mile. That's our fantasy punishment. So we're making him run it before the national championship game.
I'm sorry for my ignorance. What's a beer mile? I
So
don't drink beer, so I have no idea.
So basically, it's a common punishment for fantasy football. So you get the loser has to do one lap around the track, but before you run, you have to chug a beer. Make him run a lap. He can't run the next lap until he chugs another beer, and he has to do a whole mile with 4 beers.
So you got 4 laps, 4 beers.
Yep. Right. Basically, it's going to make him throw up.
And I have a feeling you guys are going to be recording this.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's going to be on everybody's Instagram story.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And could be on somebody's TikTok. Now the TikTok's back.
Hey, that's a crazy thing. Because I saw, speaking of it being back, I actually saw a TikTok. It was like basically comparing that it gets shut down for 12 hours, just like it was like you talking to this girl. She blocks you, then unadds you the next morning.
This has happened to you?
No, but TikTok being down for what, 12 hours, and the world everybody's losing their crap over it.
Oh, I thought that girl situation.
No, that's basically what it was. I saw a TikTok that said that earlier, and I thought it was funny.
Because you said that with some emotion, Neil.
Oh, no.
You said that like it was personal. Like,
nah, it ain't personal.
He said, nah.
Nah, it ain't personal. I don't block people, so.
I think the TikTok thing though was political.
Oh, for sure.
I think it was a political thing. You guys agree with that?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
You know what? The funny thing is, I actually really enjoy TikTok because there are certain folks on there. There's a guy, his name is Jeff Pearlman, I think's his name. He used to be a writer for Sports Illustrated and a couple other things, and he tells these stories. He's writing a book on Tupac right now, but I want to say he was like a sports he was like a baseball writer for years, but he's got these stories, man. He tells them on TikTok. They are so good. Like, I love listening to him break that down. And then I also like on TikTok, they always talk about like the Drake and Kendrick beef, and people have their opinions. And I always just love hearing that. Do you mess with TikTok, JT?
I don't really mess with TikTok for real. My kids do.
Yeah.
I'll see like some clips and stuff, but normally I'll just look at, I'm a real person, reels.
Neil, do you mess with TikTok?
Dude, I love TikTok. You can find some funny stuff on there.
You can. No, you're right. You know who my favorite is? And JT, I posted this on Twitter. Gilly and his Eagle celebration.
Yeah.
That has to be like, for me,
I'll be crying.
My favorite thing, huh?
Yeah, I'll be crying.
I watch it like 20 times. Where do you find, first of all, a little person to dress up like an eagle?
He's a little dude all the time. That's his homie.
Where do you find an old white dude with a broom?
Yeah, that neighbor be clowning, man. Hey, the neighbor sets it off every time because he be so far and he be having a broom and he just be like, and then he comes over there and it's not like Gilly doesn't stop him. So like he's like they cool. They cool, but like at first he just be over there like on his porch or like on the sidewalk with the broom, and he just walks over while he's dancing.
Have you ever
Too
seen?
Short on there today?
Huh?
Too Short was there, like on his.
Oh, I saw it.
That was great.
I watched every one of them.
Yeah,
like,
it's great.
With Too Short, I got a Too Short story. Have I ever told you my Too Short story?
Nah.
Oh, let me just tell you this real quick.
Did he say bitch? No, sorry.
Well, yeah. Check this out. I'm in Las Vegas. This was like, what's it? What are you guys laughing for?
You didn't hear JT?
What?
So what's my favorite word?
Oh,
They said that.
Well,
They said that like a lot during the conversation.
Let me tell you.
All right,
Let me
go
tell
ahead.
you what happened. I think it was like 2006, 2007. I got to look it back up. I'm in Vegas for an AAU basketball tournament with my team. Well, it just so happens there's a guy in Vegas who went to UC. We were in the same class together. We got really cool when we were in school. His name is Todd. And Todd used to run a lot of like parties and stuff in Cincinnati when we were in college, like a lot of bar nights, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So he took a leap of faith after college and he moved out to Vegas and he was working in like clubs, blah, blah, blah. So he took over the Hard Rock Cafe, the bar in there, whatever it was called, or the nightclub in there. So funny enough, he threw one of Diddy's big birthday bashes. It was the one where there was that big ice sculpture, like that Diddy party, birthday party. He actually helped put that together. Anyway, so he's from Cincinnati. He went to Oak Hill.
After party? I'm saying, my bad.
Nah, I don't think the freak, the baby oil joint. No, that was him. So he went to Oak Hills. He went to Oak Hills High School. So
that's great.
Yeah, went to Oak Hills. So anyway, I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be in Vegas for an AU. Let's connect up. And he was like, well, I'm gonna be pretty busy. Why don't you just come to the nightclub? So I take one of my coaches. We go to this nightclub inside the Hard Rock Cafe. We're in there, right? It is packed. And he's like, Jermaine O'Neal was in there. He had a private party going on.
Yeah.
Jermaine O'Neal. I never got a chance to see Jermaine or talk to him, but he had a private party going on. I could see him, but I didn't talk to him.
Yeah.
But so we're talking to Todd, and he's like, I'm gonna take you upstairs in a second. Like this, like the VIP area. He's like, you can chill out up there. He's like, but I will tell you, celebrities walk in here, like musical celebrities, and he goes, they will literally go on the stage and just grab the mic and start performing. He goes, it happens all the time. So prior to me getting there, Wyclef walked in the club, got on stage and just started rapping and went on for like, he was not scheduled, didn't get paid, nothing. So we're at the bar, it's like below, and we're getting ready to go upstairs in a minute. And my back was to like the little bar stage area. And then all of a sudden the music kind of like went low, and all of a sudden you heard biatch. And I looked at my buddy, I was like, bro, did you just hear that? And he goes, turn around. I turn around, and Too Short is right behind us on top of the bar, rapping. What's my favorite word?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, that's Too Short. And I'm like, it's crazy. So I go find Todd. I'm like, yo, Too Short's here. He's like, bro, he comes in all the time. He's like, I'll introduce him to you. I was like, what? So I go up to the VIP area. Too Short. I mean, I can't make this shit up. Too Short comes up in the VIP area. Coolest dude ever. Like, cool. He's like, what's up, man? Like, no, he talked just like he was from Oakland. Like, just like somebody from Oakland. He's like, where are you from? Cincinnati. He said, man, never been there. He said, no, I mean, I think I had a concert there with Ice Cube. And I was like, wow. And then he had a buddy with him from his neighborhood, was in a wheelchair, and he had been shot, and he was in like a wheelchair up in the VIP section. I ended up talking to him for a while, but we stood up there and talked to Too Short for like 30 minutes. Cool.
Damn.
But I didn't take a picture with him because they didn't have camera phones back there.
Yeah.
And I didn't bring my Walgreens disposable joint. I didn't have that with me. I am so salty to this day because I love Too Short. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about Too Short.
Yeah, Too Short is a legend. Like, I ain't gonna lie. If I met Too Short, I'd be happy. Like, like you said, that's tight. He seemed like he a cool dude too.
Cool. Like, man, what you see in an interview is exactly how he is, man. Super conversational, was like, "Why are you here?" And I'm like, "Man, we got an AU basketball tournament." He's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I'm terrible at basketball." Oh, okay. Super cool. That's my two. But anyway, back to Gilly. Man, Gilly's videos are so funny. Have you seen the first one when the older white guy with the broom came over?
I've seen a lot. I don't know which one was the first one, but I remember seeing a dude. He was dancing. He came over, but I ain't know like he's always like now. I feel like he's always in the videos.
But the first time he ever did, he had Gilly shook. Gilly kept like looking like,
oh, for real?
What's going on? Because he was literally outside sweeping.
Okay.
That's where the broom thing came in.
Okay. Maybe I didn't see that first one. Yeah.
It was just him and the little person dressed.
Yeah.
Those are so. I watched like when he puts a new one up, I'll watch it 20 times. I don't know why.
Yeah, now for real, I watch them a lot. I was watching them this morning. I'm like, look at this! Like I was crying, man. I was starting my day off with that.
And then after they beat the Rams, I was like, oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. He was outside. He drove that car up to the game.
I know. Did you see him? He had a whole uniform on.
Yeah, he always does that. Like he'll have like a helmet on. I don't know if he had the pads on.
Pants on.
Yeah.
Game pants.
Yeah. He was in the locker room too. Did you see that?
I saw that. I'm like, you might as well be the Make-A-Wish kid on the team, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, it's hilarious though, man. It's great content.
Oh, that's one of my favorite things. I love it on TikTok.
Yeah.
The Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. Visionary Cleaners is a locally owned company by former Bearcat student athletes. They specialize in high-quality commercial cleaning of businesses, apartments, and pre and post construction cleans. They can be reached at 513-388-7816 or contacted online at visionarycleaners.com. Fellas, this concludes another great podcast. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Donahue Accounting Services, Smart Dog Solutions, Greg Hood and Beachmont Toyota, and Visionary Cleaners. Before we get off, another episode, another classic Mick Cronin press conference. Woo. He's been on fire. Is this 3? Is this his third? Because wait a minute.
Third game in a row, I believe. I
think this is 3 because he had the first one, and then he got kicked out of the game.
Yeah, he got kicked out of the one game.
Maryland game.
Yeah, he had the one game before that. He went off at the end. He got kicked out the next game, and then this one.
He's on fire.
Yeah.
He's on fire. And you know what? As soon as I see somebody post his press conference, I go right to the comments. I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to see these.
Yeah, yeah, Mick he on a heater right now, as my man Neil said. He on a heater.
He is on a heater. He on a heater.
He on a heater.
It's almost like must watch, man. You got to see if they lose. I'm not
for sure.
LA schedule. If they lose, because I think they just beat Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah, he went off and they beat Iowa. Oh man, if they lose next game, I don't know who they play, but if they lose,
I'm about to look it up.
Yeah, I'm about to start actually paying attention to UCLA just to see those press.
They play Wisconsin on Tuesday at 9:30.
Where is it?
That is a good question.
If it's at Wisconsin, it's on the floor.
They play Wisconsin at home.
Okay.
I was gonna say because if he traveled to Wisconsin and lost, he would go. Man, the flight stuff.
Yeah.
He'd start
going 3 times.
But think about it too. You look down at his schedule. We might be in for about another month heater from Mick Cronin because he got number 24 Wisconsin, Washington, USC. Then he has number 13th ranked Oregon, number 12 ranked Michigan State, Penn State, number 19 Illinois, and then Indiana. Like it could get.
Wait, where's that Illinois game? Is that at Illinois?
At Illinois, yep.
Or he's gonna get kicked out of that game. That post presser is gonna be off the hook.
Off the chain. I hope it's a late game too. I hope it's like a.
He's got Illinois and Indiana both on the road.
Is he go? Oh man, that's gonna be classic.
Yeah, we're going to make this like part of the end of our podcast. Like we're gonna check for Mick's post game presser.
We should quote him.
We've got to. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need to, come to Donahue Accounting Services, a leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio. Our top-notch accountants strive to help you resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahue Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3982 or visit online at DonahueAccountingService.com. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Go Bearcats.